Hey everybody, I'm Maya,
This Shane.
and this is Tap In Nap, where we talk to the movers and shakers of Indianapolis and see what they have going on. And today we have Devyn. Some of you might know who he is. Ooh,
Maybe.
maybe. So Devyn, tell us about you and kind of where you got your start and things like that.
Yeah. So I was a food trucker in college. Started a food truck my junior year of college. That kind of started me on the entrepreneurial journey. Started it with a friend who became my co-founder in the next company as well. So I have a company now that I work for called Qualify. Partially own called Qualify. We're a HR software startup.
Hold on, you can't skip over what the name of your food truck was.
Mm.
Come on now.
It's been so long since I talked about that company. I'm like, that mug is gone.
Gone.
I'm like, I don't even want to talk about
But
it. No.
started from the bottom.
You're right. So the company is Twisted Fry.
Woo-woo.
I'll even tell you what food we made. So, which you've had the food,
I
but
have.
I'll tell you what food we made. We made loaded fries. So we did anything from like pulled pork with barbecue sauce and ranch and cheese on the top of a cheese fry, to buffalo chicken, to I don't know, barbecue chicken, bacon. We did everything for loaded fries. And then we also did a burger, which is my personal favorite. And it had pulled pork with loaded, pulled pork, cheese fries, and you could do two patties. So I always did two patties.
Oh yeah, that's a drunk meal right there if you ever had one.
And we did deep fried Oreos, which everybody loved. So it was crazy. Did that for 2-3 years. We grew from nothing. The first day we opened was the first time I ever was on the food truck. I had never cooked for anybody other than myself or friends. And so it was a learning process, just like from the ground up. And then we ended up having a concession stand at the Indy 500 during the whole month of May. We went to carnivals, festivals. I mean, you name it. We had catering, did everything. So kind of taught me how to do business in it at all. And then did a software startup because why not? And so, yeah, that
That's
was
like
the transition.
totally.
Yeah, it's different, but it's the same muscle. So when I talk to anybody looking to do something startup, I'm always like, just start something that's super easy. I mean, I did a food truck. That's not super easy, but start something super small, whatever you think of, like whatever that first idea is that you have, just like do that. And then just try to sell it, like try to sell something, because you're just building a muscle for whatever the real thing might be, right? So Twisted Fry could have been the real thing. Like we had plans to become this chain and all these things that didn't work out, but it made starting the next one so much easier. So I'm glad we did it, but I wish I would have done something different too at the same time.
Hey, well, and that's the thing. It got you to where you're at right now. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So who knows if that other thing would have done better with,
True.
we spoke before, and it's the chef that was kind of your want to get out because now you're having to deal with another person. But if that would have done better and you would have stayed at that, maybe the hype that you would have got from that wouldn't match the hype that you got with Qualify.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's damn near fact. Like it wouldn't have. And that's what I'm grateful for. Like we dealt with different kind of adversity that definitely applies to what we do now. So mentally, I'm not there fully, but like I'm mentally stronger than I would have been if I did something else for sure. So
okay. If you could do anything else, like what is like your passion? Is the qualified thing something that you okay, it's just another one of those things to make some money, which isn't bad. As long as you're doing it correctly, you don't care. You don't matter if you're passionate about it, as long as the quality's there.
Yeah, so I think what it is, I give a lot of thought to this and I still haven't cracked it. But I think I'm close. So one, I think I'm passionate about ownership. Like just generally the idea of steering a ship is what drives me, and having a team now, that's been another level of passion, because like before it was just me and my co-founder. So now I have a full team that helps me execute. So that's like a whole different world for me. I'm like, who am I? Like I you know what I mean? Like I'm like delegating and like ideating, less of like the hands. And that's weird for me because I'm like used to being like the super fast mover. I move like I get stuff done the same day kind of deal. Now I'm having to like set like a week deadline or whatever it might be, and it's just different. but I love it. I love working with people. So for me, it's all about like, it don't matter what the idea is. I'll just do it with somebody. But the passion, like the actual passion, if I could do anything for the rest of my life, it's coach track.
Okay.
So I do that as well.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
wow,
why I
that's
peeped
cool.
it. Yeah.
So that's like why I kind of put like qualify feeds my why, right? So I always have something that's like a passion, which is coaching. Qualify pays the bills because that doesn't pay me very much.
Yeah.
So
Okay. See,
yeah.
that's, we've spoken to our past few guests, and that's somewhat of the same kind of process that a couple of them took was, all right, this might not be exactly what I'm passionate about, but it'll get me $1 and it'll progress me in some way to where I kind of buy you time in a sense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Can't rush it. That's
Right.
Can't rush it. And I deal with just the roller coasters of being a startup person. Like crazy.
Speaking of roller coasters, what has been the most challenging thing about starting not only one but two businesses?
It depends on the person, but for me, it's always this constant like, where I'm not gonna have a job next month. That's all, and that's like a real thing now. Like, the nature of being in startup is you're kind of always, at least in our startup, we're a venture startup, so like some you can bootstrap and like generate revenue and then pay for yourself with the revenue. Highly prefer that method, by the way. Like the urgent thing is do that if you can. But us, we raised money to go kind of like fuel us to get more revenue and then raise money again. And we're in this game now. So for me, it's the nature is we're always running out of money. So you raise for 18 months of what we call runway. So basically you have 18 months until you're out of cash. So to me, mentally, it's challenging to like always stay motivated when it's kind of like knowing when you're going to die if you don't raise more money, right? So I'd say that's been the biggest challenge mentally, is just like doubt. There's just always doubt. It's like, damn, we had to hit this metric. If we don't get to this, then we can't raise more. If we don't raise more, then I won't have a job. So it always comes back to I won't have a job. But the funny thing is like I was a supply chain major, so the one thing I took away from this was 5 why analysis. So you ask why 5 times. And it always comes back to, like I always say what I just said to you is like, I won't have a job. But it's funny because like I always got to ask why one more time. And it's usually the root of my feelings is I don't want to be viewed as a failure. And it's like trash. Like, because I can get another job. This really isn't about the job. It's really about how do people view me and
You
battling.
versus you.
Yeah,
And you
exactly.
gotta stop caring about
Exactly.
that. For everybody out there, you cannot.
Exactly.
If you go to my IG now, I'm putting out content that I don't care really about putting out. It's more to benefit. You know what I'm saying? It's show people that if you are gonna take this on, you better be working nonstop.
Most definitely.
You know. So yeah, just swallowing that and doesn't matter. I got one life, and I'm gonna be the only person who can make myself happy doing what I'm doing.
Yep.
You know.
So
Absolutely.
that's the battle. Is like, all right. So if I always say it's about the job, like I always tell myself, okay, well, the job is a job. I can get another job. So then it's like I said, I'm like, okay, it's about me versus me, like you said. So then I easily can check myself there. I'm like, that makes no sense. And that always gets me back. But it's a game. It's like constant. So that's been the most challenging thing, is just always feeling like failures on the horizon.
Yeah.
Because it's just nothing ever moves fast enough in this game. So that's what I would say is the biggest thing I've battled.
So when you find it hard to be your own support, who's your support?
Wifey.
Oh, shout her out.
Yeah, Caitlin, my wife. Darian, my co-founder and brother. Probably the 2 biggest. And then I have my other co-founder, Deshaun, who's also one of my best friends. So we became very, very close through business. We were also teammates on the track team. So we weren't really friends then. And then we became really good friends through the business. So them 3 are kind of who I lean on. But definitely, if we're talking about the darkest nights, would be with Caitlin. Obviously,
Absolutely.
supposed to be. So, and she's a trooper. the funny thing is like it's always so normal for her because she sees this time and time again with me. So she's like, literally last time you said this 3 months ago, like we were cool. So like she has no evidence that this isn't gonna work out, and she lives in a life that's like, this sounds bad, but like normal. She has a normal job, and so she's like stable as ever. And then there's me who's just like, just no sense of stability over here under one household is very interesting. But for me now, like we have a child on the way, so it's like crazy because I'm just thinking about that too. I'm like, she not gonna want to work, so like now it's really just my income. I got to get through Christmas, and then I got to get through the next year. So I'm like just constantly thinking. So yeah, but she's the one for sure. She's the one that keeps me sane most of the time.
Nice. How long you been married?
Almost 2.5 years. Okay. Yeah, we got married in July of 2020, which was crazy. Ooh. The day after. So here's how it went. Friday, the day before our wedding. No, Thursday. Sorry. Thursday before our wedding. Governor comes out, says no weddings because of COVID. So he's like, no weddings, shutting it all down. We're at our rehearsal dinner, and the lady comes out. I was like, we might not be able to have the wedding. And then we ended up having it, thankfully, but it went into effect the next Monday after our wedding. So
nice,
divine timing.
Yeah, buddy. I was about to say,
if you can get through that, then you guys can get through. You made it sound like you guys have been like married a long time.
We've been together for like 5 years, maybe 6. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know.
Nice. You having a boy or a girl?
I'll know this weekend. That's next weekend. So
okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Don't know. I'm gonna shoot a firework in the air and find out.
Oh, that's fire.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody do a firework.
That's why I was like, this is different.
Yeah.
Try it out. So I always tell her, I hope for a girl. I'm gonna put it on record. We made an agreement today that we shook on it. I was like, if I'm right and we have a girl, its name is Devyn. She shook on it, so don't she.
Oh wow! Yeah,
you shook on it, so you don't get to take it back.
And this is forever, right? On YouTube, he gonna keep pulling this up if you change your mind.
You know what?
Literally.
I feel that because Maya Jr. for a girl, like that works for me.
It's dope.
MJ.
I was like, I don't want a junior, like a true junior. Yeah. But I was like, it'd be kind of cool to have a girl. Because I have the girl spelling. So I was like, it's perfect. Match made in heaven.
Oh.
She was not going for it. Immediate no.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Say, you let me know how that pans out.
Right. Yeah. So can you tell us about a single project that was like super significant in your career now?
So I'll give a quick one, which is Twisted Fry. That was its own project to me. Like we were honestly like just completely made that up out of nothing. Like we were just like, yeah. Started off as a late night cookie restaurant because like, I don't know if you've been to IU, but they have that place called Baked, which I thought was dope. So I was like, yeah, let's do that in ISU. And then that wasn't going to work out. And then I was like, Deshaun, the co-founder, he was like, I want to do a food truck. So I'm like, let's just mesh the idea of like late night food truck. And then we told somebody about it. They're like, yeah, it's not really legalized to do food trucks publicly, like on city streets in Terre Haute. And then we're like, well, that sucks. And then they're like, but you can do it. You can go change the law. And we're like, all right, let's give it a shot. So that was like that summer before it opened. We basically went and changed like city law. So that was like the biggest project, first time project. I was like working with city council and giving speeches on like as if a food truck is this very important thing to the city.
Listen, I hope everybody heard what you just said, because you literally just said we changed laws and things, and it even though it's just a food truck, that's still deep. Like that shows people like, hey, I have something passionate to me. I can get out here and change and do what I need to do to make it how it needs to be,
even if it's not legal.
Even if it's no.
Honestly. Those would be the best one.
Yeah. But think about how many things weren't legal that had to be changed. Yep. So yeah.
Yep.
My biggest one forever.
It's a solid one. Excuse me.
Hey, that's real, man. They was like, people making too much money. Maybe we could let's just legalize it real quick. Sell licenses.
It's coming, even to Indiana.
Oh yeah, in the next 3 or 4.
Don't hold y'all's breath.
Hey, it's gonna be a certain point where it's just every state around us is, legalized.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you gonna do? Fight it? Your police officers are gonna have more trouble than anybody because it's like now you got to cover 4 borders of legal marijuana coming in.
Indiana's the biggest hold my beer state. You guys think you're gonna do hold my beer? Let me show you what we're not gonna do.
Yeah.
Let's just hope it don't get to that because I'm trying to get in that.
Start a business.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, even just to rent out land, Yeah.
But yeah, that was project 1. Project 2, single project. I don't know if you consider like a sale a project, but like getting that first real sale, like we had sold Qualify for like, I don't know, we were selling it $99 a month. We were like, can you pay $99 a month for this?
I'm sorry to interrupt you just real quick. Can you tell us exactly what your business?
Yeah. Sorry. So Qualify is a HR tech startup. I'm gonna go even more specific. It's a talent acquisition technology. So for recruiters to basically phone interview candidates faster. So basically, in 90% of hiring processes, there's basically you apply as a candidate, then you get a phone interview. Especially in like the hourly world, like a caregiver or like a CNA or nurses or stuff like that. So we see basically that's the slowest step in the process. It takes about 7 days without us to do that. And basically your best talent's gone in 10 days statistically. So we were like, hey, big problem. We also felt the problem ourselves, but big problem because they get hundreds of applicants typically. And so now they're having to get through the hundreds. They all look kind of similar on paper. So you have to phone interview them. It takes them like 2 weeks to get through all of them. And so they're losing good talent. So we basically made this tool that you record questions in our platform, create interviews. So it's in your voice, and then you send it to a candidate via text or email. They click a button, it dials their phone and walks them through that interview. It records it, transcribes it, keyword identifies it, gives it back to the recruiter for them to listen to in like 2 minutes. And then basically moving a candidate from 7 days, being generous, to they get them done within less than 20 hours. So speeding up the hiring process is kind of what we do.
Wow. Yeah. I just want to say
that was long-winded.
No, that's good. Because, I mean, we want people to know, like, this is something that you can tap into.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll go back to your question, but to kind of give you further on the possibles, like me and Darian, my brother, co-founder, we created the idea together. Did not code. We were not coders, but we were like, that's not about to stop us. Let's go do the designs. Let's go do the business development. Like, let's go talk to people about it, like actually generate interest. And then also let's go find a co-founder that can code. Whereas a lot of people, they're just like, yeah, I got this. I hear it all the time. Hey, I got this idea. I'm like, well, what is it? And they're like, this. And that's it. Like, they're never like, yeah, I've talked to 100 people about it and they've said this. I've done these surveys. They said this. I've talked to these customers. Here's the designs. Here's what I've done. It's always just like, yeah, but I don't code, so I can't do it. And I'm always like, no, like, you literally can do it. You just need to go do it and start talking about it so it becomes real. Once it becomes real, you just go talk to a developer and now say, hey, I've got all this data that says this is going to be viable. Not, hey, I've got this idea. Right. Well, can you code it for me? Like, no, they don't want to code it. Like, they got a job.
But that's the drive part that we talk about a lot in the show. The drive, the ambition. You know, a lot of people stop at A and don't even think about Z or anything after that. You know what I mean?
They literally, if they're lucky, start at A. Like, I'm talking like, I say that jokingly, like, hey, I got this idea. I've heard that probably 25 times.
Absolutely.
From different people, just like, because I did Twisted Fry, and then that became like, we became kind of like this poster child at our school, and everyone, I love it. Like, everyone was like into entrepreneurship, but there was always just like, I got this idea. Mm-hmm. I'm like, do you think that we knew what we were doing when we started this? Like, we had this idea too, but it goes a lot farther when you take the steps. So, yeah. So I don't even know. Oh, that was describing the tool, but biggest project. So it was $99 a month when we first started. I was just like, yeah, you know, Eskenazi, like just pay us $99 a month. No one was really going. Like we failed for like a year just trying to get real customers. Like 99 was not doing it. And I don't even know how we got to this, but there's a company in Richmond, Indiana. Reed Health is the hospital, and they're the largest employer in their area. And I don't even know how we found them. It was like cold email or something like that. But biggest project for me was like getting them from nothing. We had no real customers. We had like, you kind of have to like not make up stuff, but you kind of have to like massage it a little bit. Like you're like, yeah, we work with this. We work with this company and this company, this company. These are all companies that said they would beta test and never really did. Like we just knew the product worked, so we were like confident. So we just went to them, sold it. We're like, hey, it's gonna be this, and it was $18,000 for the year, and they went for it. I was like, this is crazy, but like that set up so much momentum into the next year, like so much confidence. So it's them and then Mutual of Omaha, like the insurance company. I was like, same price. But I was like, this is crazy. So that was, I'd say those are the two most special. I don't want to call them projects, but like moments, right? Like that just kind of changed the trajectory. Not to say like Qualified just went like this. It went like like that, you know.
Well, at least now you got somebody, or you have an example of like, hey, these people or this big company, we have a contract. Yes.
Like it's real, and it worked. That's the best part, and they've both been with us for over 2 years now. So like renewed, clearly it works for them, and they'll likely renew again. So it's like special, I would say. So it's led to everything else.
Okay. So what's your daily routine when it comes to Qualify?
I was just joking with people. I'm like, I feel useless when I don't have a meeting, which is not the healthiest thing ever. But like we have this rule called no meeting Thursdays, and it's no internal meetings. And I'm like, that's my least favorite day of the whole week. Everybody else loves it. I'm like, that's my least favorite day because I gotta talk. Like I'm an extrovert, so usually Mondays, internal day, right? So I have tomorrow, I'll wake up one-on-one with Darian for an hour, and then we'll go into a management meeting for 45 minutes. Then we'll go into a team meeting for an hour. Then we'll go into a one-on-one with my salesperson for 30 minutes, one-on-one with my customer success person for 30 minutes, and then a sales pipeline meeting. So we talk about all of our deals that are in the pipeline. And then I go to practice. So that's my Monday. Tuesday is marketing day, more so. So I have my marketing team meeting, a little bit of gaps. I do my sales calls there if I have some. And then Wednesday is like, it basically tapers off as I go through the week. So Wednesday, sales calls if I have some. Otherwise, I'll maybe plug some like partnership calls there. And then Thursday, no meeting day.
Yeah.
Hate it. Friday, we have a team lunch day. So what I do is like I have this long to-do list. And basically, I like to see it long so I know that I'm checking things. So I check them and they go up to the top. But I just hit my weekly priority is basically how I do it. I don't have any good routine. I just know like, here's what I said this week is important for. If nothing else is true, these things need to be true, that I get these things done. And I try to hold to that. There's definitely different spots where you can and can not let up. I feel like certain things I feel like I always have to keep a pulse on, like a really close pulse on making sure that we're constantly never settling to be creative. In other areas, I'm like, I actually strategically want to keep this constant right now because like our team is small, so we can only focus so much on different things. We can't like spread ourselves. So I'm like, all right, customer success, decent right now. So like, just keep it decent. And when we get more money, we will invest more in this decency and make it great, right? It's doing really well. But like other areas where I'm like marketing, right? We can invest more in being more creative and trying more things and doing this stuff. So I have to like really put my attention there. Not that they're not capable, they're really capable. It's just I want to be a part of it. Basically, like I want to be a part of this fun environment of like creating from scratch these ideas that we want to pull people in. Like what if it's a podcast? What if it's a video series? Whatever it is. It's kind of like Darren and I's brand, so I feel like I should be a part of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
And I was
yeah.
just about to ask, what makes you stand out from other corporations like yours?
So it's a good question. We get that all the time in investing. So a couple things. So what I just described to you as our tool, I'm just going to speak about it from a product standpoint for now, and then I'll go into like brand. But product wise, when you talk to our customers and they think about like what else is in the market like us, they're always going to say a video interview solution. We are a phone call. So ours happens via phone. It calls you as an hourly worker, like you might be at lunch or you might wherever you're at. Like it's gonna dial you, right? Video interview, same idea. You can record a video and they answer your video. You write a question on the screen and they answer the question with video. And what we found is like, one, I think it's not a good experience for candidates, for one, like they don't like it. And then two, a lot of bias, a ton of bias. Like you're basically saying, hey, bring me all the opportunities that I can judge you off of the way you look. And so we're like, nah, not us. We're not our company. We're not about to do that. And so that's probably the thing that helps us stand out the most. Is like, hey, same value, probably a little bit more because your candidates feel a little bit more comfortable. And we're just taking away your opportunity to have input in, what is it called when it's unconscious bias, right? So just because I can see you on a screen. And what's crazy is like I've had examples of this happen when I'm talking to customers. They're like talking about their Zoom calls. So they do like a live interview usually after our phone interview. And she was like, yeah, like, this candidate the other day was, you get all kinds of crazy stuff with remote work. So this candidate the other day they were in their bathroom doing an interview on Zoom. And I was like, man, that's crazy. Like when I first heard it, then after the call, I was like, hold up. Like, what if that's the best place she has? Like, what if that's, all she's got? And I was like thinking like, now you've been biased when that might've been her giving her best to you. And that's kind of like really clicked for me. I was like, this is why we exist. Like, so that this is never an issue. Like you should never be able to say that. And then the other part is one of our customers, hospital, was like, if he's like a social media user. So he's like, I never post on social media. He's like, I always consume on social media. So he's like, I'll scroll all day, watch the videos, but I'm not about to post a video. He's like, same thing for our candidates. Like, it's good for recruiters to see the video. Like they like seeing it, but the candidate experience is almost like me making you post on Instagram videos. Like if you're not comfortable doing that, you're not going to do it. Right. So that's why we kind of stand out as like a more comfortable approach. So that's our product differentiator. From a brand standpoint, in HR, it's kind of easy. Like people don't really build brands in HR. They build companies that get a lot of customers and that's their brand. Whereas we're trying to build like an actual brand. So long term, I feel like that'll set us apart. Like we have a koala bear that everyone loves as our logo. Right. And you don't see that stuff. Like it's almost like if you've heard of MailChimp, like that kind of vibe. But yeah, mostly product differentiation right now, I would say.
Okay. So you see yourself just growing in that space? Do you see it, I mean, obviously with innovation time and all of that comes into play, but do you see your Qualify offering different services? Do you see them, or do you see you guys even branching off and doing a different style, like not the hiring?
Oh, like a whole different world.
Yeah.
So probably not that. There's a couple examples of people that do that, like if you ever heard of Bamboo, or if you ever hear of Bamboo, they do like Bamboo HR and Bamboo CRM and like sales, and like they do everything. We'll probably go basically from phone interview solution to like screening automation platform. So like I said, you have different steps. So if you look at a general step would be apply, phone interview, assessment, schedule, to next step interview, background check, offer is usually kind of, that's a one way you could do it, a general way. We want to go from apply all the way through before background check. It's kind of our mindset right now. So there's a lot of things that have to happen in the in-betweens. So like scheduling is a hassle for every recruiter. They're like always trying to find a time that works. So we're building a scheduling tool for that. And then texting is a kind of the in-between thing you have to do, but it's not like a step. It's just like a channel, I guess. We want to build that. We are building that. And then assessments is definitely something we'll do, because that's, I think when I think about other tools, I'm getting a little nerdy, but when I think about other tools like our competitors, they sell assessments, video interviews, and texting, 3 separate things, right? We want to sell this holistic approach. So like, instead of me inviting you to do your assessment, you do it, then I get it, and then I invite you to do your video interview, and then you do it, right? That's our competitors. We want to do one invitation, do your assessment, that flows right into the right phone interview for you. And then that flows right into scheduling. If this is the best, like if you did the right things here, we're going to schedule you here because we just know. So it's like this one thing that happens that is done one day versus like 2 weeks is kind of how I look at it. So taking 2-week process, shrinking it to 1 day.
Oh, wow. Okay. How close do you think you are doing that?
We'll have our V1 of it in December.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like
we're close.
Yeah, we're right around
Very
the corner.
close.
Oh, yeah. I was
Yeah.
gonna say, so okay, cool. I asked.
I'm excited.
Question.
I'm excited because like it opens up new things. Right now we can only sell to we have a big market, but like we really drive like high volume recruiting is like anything from warehouse employees to McDonald's to hospitals, right? So we really focus on the hospitals of the world where they need to talk to you still. It's not just like pass a background check and you're hired, right? Whereas like McDonald's, it's like literally like fill out this little form and pass a background check, you're good. And we're building something now that I'm excited about. We can go do that. Like we can go sell to them now because they don't really want a phone interview. And we've always known that. But now we're building this, basically it's called questionnaires. It's like a V1 of an assessment. So you just fill out some stuff and then we can schedule you. And like that's what we're building. So I'm like really hyped to go after that new market.
Yeah, and that is a market that is out there.
Right.
Like, I don't know. We went to Chipotle for lunch and it was like, help wanted.
Yep.
You know, we're
Always.
hiring.
And
you
help
know.
they need it on South Emerson. So please, if you like Chipotle and that's where you want to be and that's your drive and passion, please, the one on South Emerson.
I
had like 3 people working. No chicken.
No chicken,
steak,
no rice.
No queso, no white rice.
So
and
we
it's
had
just
a
like, what do
tortilla
you
for
have?
lunch.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like Chipotle. I like Taco Bell. That's the only.
Wow, you just ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch.
I don't like none of the like.
I'm gonna sit
Tex-Mex.
this one out because I
Have you had Tijuana Flats?
Yeah.
That's good. But like everything else, I don't mess with it.
Uh-oh.
They alright.
I mean, he's choosing Taco Bell over Chipotle.
Yeah,
I don't know how much I trust
I
your
might be the
judgment
mud.
anyway.
I'm not gonna lie to you. For sure, I might be. I always tell people it's like I'm either like grimy or like 5-star. There's no in between.
There's no in between.
I'm like, I love White Castle and Taco Bell.
I just had White Castle for breakfast.
Fire.
Fire.
Like top three.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Their mozzarella sticks, chef
Very
kiss.
good.
Right. Fries is banging.
Yup.
Baked fish sandwich is nice.
And you know what to expect when you go to White Castles. You know.
A stomach ache. Yep, that's exactly it. That's
Absolutely.
It. It's my laxative for sure.
Yeah.
It's good. It's fire.
Wow. Okay. So you got tech. You don't want to stay in tech. You like coaching. Do you see yourself trying to pursue head coaching jobs anywhere?
Not head, but I will eventually probably try. Like someday I want to try and make a run at like bigger time coaching. I got coach at Marion, which is great. Like getting all my experience we've had. I mean, literally went from they had a jump program, but it was okay, I guess. I came in, first year was cool. That was COVID year, so we just like got through it. Second year had a national champion. The next year had a national champion, and so hopefully this year I'll have a national champion. But learning a lot, like just like going in and seeing like, okay, I can do this. Like clearly making an impact, all that stuff. So I'm like, okay, cool, love it. Love the sport. Been doing it since I was in second grade, so I want to keep doing it. And I would love to, like, dream school would be like Oregon, right?
Yeah.
Like I grew up there, have roots there, so I'm like, It'd be dope if I could go to Oregon or like a LSU or something like that. Does that ever happen? I honestly don't care. I love the sport.
Hey,
That's
I'm
like-
telling you. Well, that's the thing is if you when your tech company gets big enough to where you can go live somewhere, go live, and then offer a pay cut.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Just get in there.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, man, it'd be nice if I could literally just go volunteer anywhere. Like if I was set, I'd happily go to LSU and just be like, hey, I'm just coming. Like, you don't this is my resume. Like, if you want it, awesome. I would love to help and just do it for free because I don't need this, And then that might lead to becoming the coach of the jumps, right? So I'd be under somebody probably, but lots of routes. I just love the sport.
Absolutely.
So it's for me. It is the best.
Okay.
So, is there any encouraging words that you would give to anybody trying to do a food truck, trying to go into tech, starting their own business?
And be raw with it if need be.
I've been saying this one a couple times, and it's not my credit, but I think it's a banger quote. But it's from another podcast called The Basement with Tim Ross. It's a Christian podcast, but the thing is, what he says it just applies to life. And he said, I'm gonna say it my way. He said, if you're going places, you have to be leaving somewhere. Like if you're he said, going and leaving are two different things. So I was telling someone the other day, I was like, you're not quitting your job. You're going places that they can't take you. So you have to leave that job to go there. Like, so what I would say to any entrepreneur, there's two things. One is like, you got to leave something. Like, you got to leave this other life that you think is comfortable and convenient. Like, you got to leave that if you're going to go. And then the other thing I would say is just take a step. Like, everything is one step. It's not I think it's one thing to have the end thing in mind, but like, there's always a next step that you need to take, and just take that. Just like start very, very small. Like, make everything as small as you can and celebrate every time you do that small thing. And then eventually zoom out and you're at Z, right? But just get to B and then just get to C. And it's just literally one foot in front of the other. So those are my things. And don't talk about ideas. Ideas are poop. Like, an idea means nothing at all. Like,
unless it's got some action behind it, boy, that don't mean
I don't
damn
hear
thing.
I hate ideas. That's like probably my mantra. Is like, I hate ideas. They're useless. Like, action and execution is everything.
Oh yeah, man. See, and that's like I'm starting to get into conversations, and if things go too far towards idea instead of action, like how do we make it possible versus what we want to do? I try to pull that shit back in and go, all right. But first, we have to get this going.
Yes.
Once we have this, then we can do this, which will then take us to where we want to go.
Yep. And I would just, for the first timer, I would definitely focus on one thing. Like, that's probably one of the bigger mistakes I've made just generally, is like saying yes to so many things. I'm like, oh yeah, let's do that. I got like 3 different things I said yes to. One is stuck, luckily, but I'm like, I should have just honestly said yes to this and that's it. So now when I hear like my thoughts creeping in, I'm like, oh, I could go do this. Like, it sounds kind of dope. I'm like, turn back, like,
stay on the path.
Right back, yeah, like come right back and keep on what you're doing, because like, you literally, I was telling one of my friends, is like, you can literally see, if you're patient enough to give a year, like, you can literally see so much in a year. And then it's almost like it just doubles every time. Like, it just like double the things you see in a year next year, right? And it's just like, just be faithful to the thing and watch it grow. Or it'll fail and you'll be better the next time. Either way is fine. This is kind of how
just
I look
don't
at
be
it.
scary. Can't be scary.
Yep. I don't know. It's funny. I'm never scared to start it. Once you get it, once you get in it, that's when it gets scary.
Because you commit and now put your face on this product. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm doing this now, and now you got it.
Yeah.
Like you said, now the whole failure
Mhm.
pops into your head, which is everything. Everybody.
Yep.
That shit is, starting this. Fingers crossed to be
Right.
network. You know what I'm saying? Is This shit's scary than a bitch. But if you just accept that this is what you want to do and that there's going to be sacrifices that come with it, and you accept those because this is really what you want to do.
Yes.
The world is your oyster.
Absolutely.
And you've earned the right, in my opinion, like you've earned the right to have fear.
Mm.
Whereas like if you never started anything, you shouldn't even be scared yet. Cause like that's not even the hard thing. Like like once you're in it, then you'll see what it's really like. And like there's some fear there, and I understand that because you've earned your passage into that. But like
It's a good statement.
just started.
Just started.
It's simple. That part.
All right. So tell us where we can find you at.
The only place I'm somewhat active is LinkedIn. So
We got 3 LinkedIn this season. Like we didn't have none last.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Sponsorship.
Taking over.
Right.
Taking over.
Well, that's how we're really on the hustlers.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Nah, not the IG. LinkedIn.
Get on my LinkedIn.
Okay, businessman.
My business profile.
Right.
But go ahead, you drop that.
Yeah, it's just Devyn Mikell, DevyynMikell. That's it.
On
All
LinkedIn.
right.
All right.
Thank you so much for
I
coming to see
appreciate
us,
y'all.
Devyn. We really appreciate it. Remember to like, comment, or subscribe.
Not or.
No, and subscribe. I'm Maya,
This Shane.
and you've officially tapped in.
There we go. Appreciate you, my brother.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. It was so nice to meet you. The man behind the Twisted Fry. Woo!